Whoa, running late. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody can hear me. Let's pull up the chat. He says we can hear. Appreciate you, man. Fast. Let's close this. Just playing for a second here. Nice. Oh shit. Let's turn this down. I've only used this Zoom a couple times, to be honest, where I was controlling it. And I've been messing with this. What's it called this week? I've been messing with, geez. It's called Riverside, some shit like that. Anyway, platforms, Instagram, YouTube, man, they all different, man. Trying to connect shit to YouTube. Connect those gets complicated, man. A lot like trading. Meaning there's a lot of complications involved in trading. There's a lot to it, man. Let's see. What you got in front of you here, we're looking at this last couple of weeks. If you follow my content, I've been talking about, Bitcoin. See the Bitcoin thing in the back. And I've just been using it as an example because I got to talk about something and it helps to stay on one thing, man. And I was saying, if we were watching, and we'll see the same effect today. I'm gonna look at Netflix, but let's look at Bitcoin for just a second, just from a trading perspective. Let's pull it up. And if we look at the Bitcoin of a daily chart, now you notice for charts, you gotta decide on charts. Don't make this complicated. I've used different charting packages and software over the years. I traded Forex a bit. That's a shit show over there. And I use different platforms than I use. I settled on stock charts like 10 years ago, mainly because I want to say 10 years ago, you start to lose track of time the older you get, but it'll work on a phone. It'll work on a laptop. If you're visiting grandma, when this first came out, this was huge. And I don't think people understand, because early days, we downloaded software to our computer, and your fucking software would download data at the end of the day from a server, and then you'd have charts. And now, you can just be on your phone and have everything that we had on there. And it really is awesome. And what we're looking at here is a chart of Netflix. And it don't take a lot if you just put dots on the bars that appear to be the highest and just, let's call it moves. And what I mean by a move, if you were a kid and you had a crayon, you were like, yeah, that looks like it went up. That looks like it went down. That looks like it went sideways. Like, just draw like this. And as you get to do that, you see it started to go up, right? Then it went sideways, then it went down. And this is just like a kid drawing. But what that's helping you do is kind of get some order to what you're looking at. And this is a daily chart of Netflix. So it's just gone lower, sideways, lower, sideways, stair step down. Doesn't take a genius, right? And we can do traditional charting where we draw trend line. And we're just connecting the tops, man, like a little kid. Like here, we're connecting the bottoms, right? And you begin to do that. And this is the basics of all charting. Charting is trying to make order out of the chaos you see in a time frame that makes sense to you. So trading for Warren Buffett, like, he may be thinking like, this is a 10-year trade. Like, to him, that's a trade. And me and you are like, 10 years? Fuck that, dude. I'm looking at, like, I'd like to do it earlier in 10 years. So as a traders, we come to this and we realize, okay, if we look at Netflix doing that, what appears to overall just be going down, if we go down a little, let's say we drop this to a 1 hour chart in what appears to be a downtrend. Does this something that looks like me? Well, what is this? No, we're looking at Netflix or a Bitcoin. Sorry. If we go to a 1 hour chart, what? I mean, the whole visualization of the chart changes. Remember, the other one was, where the fuck was I? They got to move this, man. That thing is blocking me. Hold on. Pause disable. I hate where they put this location on. Oh, we can move it, man. God damn. Why didn't you say so? I'm going to stay with the Netflix here. If we drop that Netflix, which is what we were looking at, I got confused. That thing was blocking me. On that daily chart, we saw it stair stepping, stair stepping, stair stepping, stair stepping, right? The big picture was down. So back to that daily chart and we see it. And you're like, man, you don't have to be too smart. You could just take a ruler and a pencil. If you printed that chart off and you connected the top to the bottom, I mean, it's just heading down, right? It's just heading down, down, down. But inside of these moves, you're going to see the fractal pattern of the money flow. As you step down, you're going to go down in time. So we're in bar count is really what we're looking at here. So we take the Netflix and let's take it down to a daily or to an hourly chart. And let's compare. And now what? We start to see movement of price. And what you're going to start to see is you're going to see a flow. Now it's not perfect, but as it starts to build better and better, watch, as you remember, keep it simple like a kid. Like we're just drawing and we're just playing along. So you just start where you're at today and you start drawing, man, and you stay in this time frame. And the money, it's fractal. So if we're on a 1 hour chart, we're looking for what? A box at a bottom. We're looking for extreme RSI points. You know, I talk about that. Price goes from one extreme to the next, swing trade over. One extreme to the next, swing trade over. For me, like the way I'm looking at it. So when it moves from going from an extreme to an extreme, I'm looking for that move to be over. Most of the time it's over. And then what? It comes back the other way. You'll see it. I mean, again, just being a kid, don't overcomplicate this. Just draw trend lines on what you see up there. And what do you see? You see this floating of price. So what I'm looking for in the floating of price is not that I know price direction. I don't know where fuck Netflix is going. I just know how it moves. And so it moves like this. And I don't really know where Bitcoin's going. I know where it goes. Now we can have opinions. And if you do have an opinion that something goes to the upside, well, why don't you just trade that thing to the upside as a trader? So you have a separate account. And over here, you're like, what are you waiting on? You're waiting on these RSI moments. So if you had a general belief in the stock of Netflix, this thing won't let me. Let's see. There we go. Damn, Joe. Give me a second. I'm figuring it out, man. I'm 52. Feel like I'm back on Snapchat. Let's see. This here, you know what that is. So inside of money flow rules, I believe price goes sideways. It puts in a bottom. We call that an anchor point. Again, we're kids, okay? Just start on the chart you got. So I would just start on the chart I got. Where's the highest high? There. Where's the lowest low? There. Now we're in the money flow, man. You're in the money flow. You're flowing in the money with Netflix. So on this 1 hour chart, you're flowing with it. On a 1 hour chart, it could be in a stage 4 decline. And on the daily chart, it's in stage 2 breakout, meaning price is actually trending higher. So we could use these multiple time frames as a trader. We could go, okay, what is the big picture, right? Pillar number what? 8 of the 10 pillars. So what's the big picture? And I would make that determination based on where I see the money flow on the daily chart. So I'd back this up and I'd say, okay, I want to try to take trades in the direction of the daily. So as I'm watching this, you know what this is. I mean, unless you're short selling, you're not playing this. And then we're going to go back one more step. Okay. We're going to go back one more. Once we get down here and we can establish an anchor point on Netflix, meaning we think it's bottomed and we have an anchor point, and now we're starting to get stage development. So when we're looking at all this shit here, 1210 cursed. As price is doing its sideways thing, trying to break, starts to go into a state, right? When I drop down to that lower time frame, I'm looking for trades that confirm what we think we're seeing on the daily. So after a 1, we assume a 2. If the 1 holds and holds and holds and holds, means I need to be looking to trade to the upside. And if once it goes to break, I'm only trading to the upside because the general direction on the daily chart is to the upside. So then I would come down here. And remember, if we're trading now, there's tax consequences, man. Pieces of paper, there's a trail. You bought an asset, sold an asset. A lot of people want a piece of that. Remember that. It's going to make your life more complicated. Don't be all shocked when at the end of the year you get a tax form. They're like, there's like 300 trades. Yeah, I have one year and year 7,400 trades. And here they are, like put them in. So if we look at this, this is the 1 hour. Are we still long this? Let's just pretend like we were in it and we got in on the breakout. Maybe you got in on the stage 1. Maybe as soon as maybe the way you're trading it, as soon as the lower time frame confirms the higher time frame, meaning this little pullback that I get here on the 1 hour chart, pulls back, comes in, I'm waiting for that alignment again. I'm waiting for that breakout alignment. And as I start to see it unfold, I start to put money in. And then, we can get into stops, but that's a whole nother conversation. What we're hoping on is the natural flow of price, sideways up, sideways down, sideways up. That's no judgment on price. It's just a social agreement. I talk about that in the new ebook. It changes day to day, man. And then boom, it runs. This is where we make our money right here. You may have not only made a few bucks on these, maybe you barely broke even. Boom, it ran. But look how long this takes to play out. I mean, that's last month. This is a month-long stalking, watching. And if you're entering, right, you're entering, setting your stop, setting your target, downsizing. And you may do that back when you're not seem to be getting any, like, okay, I made a few bucks, lost a few bucks, made a few bucks, and then bam. And when the bam happens, it's like, do you let it run? Like, are you trading it smart? Because when it's running, as long as the 5-day is above the 10 days, above the 20-day, you just let it run, man. And if you catch one like that and you avoid one like that, that's called trading. I mean, you don't hold one of these down. If you're trading, you need liquidity. And it's not about what I won or lost on this trade. It's about not getting caught in a bad trade, but letting a good trade run. And that, while it sounds so simple, it is so hard to do. Back this up. And so that's how, if you're wanting to quote trade, now that's not investing. So a lot of times people be like, but what about, bro, you're not trading now. You're doing something different. So if you want to be successful at trading, you got to get real clear about what you're doing. You're buying, setting targets, getting out, give me my chips. I'm going to go get a soda, come back to the table. Oh, deal me back in. The last hand don't have nothing to do with this hand. And the moment the last hand has something to do with this hand, you're no longer trading, you're caught in something else, man. So you can't be an investor and do this, what we're talking about here, where you're trading. And the goal of the trader is like, I need to keep the money that I'm up so that what? So that I can roll it into other setups. So it's not a love of one particular, but what I would advise is limiting the number of things you're looking at. So let's back this up. Let's go to Bitcoin for a second. Now we got to know a little bit about our market. How many hours a day does Netflix trade generally? 6.5. There's after and before, but 6.5 hours. That's why I typically drop to the 1 hour chart if I'm trading. If I'm stalking a breakout, if I've got a stage 1, if a stock pulls in, sets up, starts to go sideways, boom. When I go to jump in, if I go to jump in, I'm looking at that daily for my direction, man. And I'm not doing it on emotion. I'm waiting for what? That anchor point to set up. Now, as I drop time, I squeeze time. I know, okay, I'm gonna have a lot more bars, a lot more data points. You remember when I say in the money flow? And I would do this in a separate account. Again, another thing that can, 2 things that'll mess you up. 1, margin. If you're not on margin, you don't blow out. And if you don't blow out, you get to keep playing. Meaning you get to keep taking trades. The way you blow out is You hold a trade that goes to zero, you're out. That's not trading, that's investing, and it went to zero. You got to know the distinction in that. And then we go from, even this type of trading can go even deeper, which is day trading. I mean, they're closing out at the end of the day. I don't need to close it out at the end of the day. If it wants to go for another 10, 15 days straight up, if all the indicators line up, moving averages, trend direction, I'll just let it run. And that's how I end up, that's how you make a lot of your money, is handling the winners, meaning Netflix goes from 175 and you ride it all the way up. Well, up into here, we're scaling out. Why? It's going to pull back. We're traders. We got to get this money and get out. Deal the cards. I won. Cool. I'm going to go get a coffee. And then I get up. I leave. Next setup, new trade. And you say, well, what if it turns down then keeps going? Well, then you missed that move. You're trading forever and you wait for a good setup. So if I'm trading, it's a matter of usually days to weeks, man. Now, one level above this, position trading. And that's where, yeah, I will hold a stock into that because I'm adding on stage one. So I'm playing a much longer game, time times amount times yield. This game here, I'm dropping down. You say, will this take a lot of my time? Not really. Once it broke here, it ran for what, a week and a half? I mean, could you look at your phone in a week? And it's just now topping out. And the top out pattern, looks just like the one over here did. They all match up the same. RSI bangs the top, goes extreme. We expect a pullback. So if I got chips on board, if I'm trading, I take my money, right? And if you're like me, I like to milk it to the very end. I'm still holding shares. And when the stage 4 happens, shit, I might be down to 10 and I might give it one more day because I'm in such a small position now compared to when I got in. So be okay with that. Down it into the money. And then be able to put it back on if it changes its mind or breaks out, man. And that's just being in the flow with the stock. And I'm going to show you that with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin trades 24 hours a day. I think a 4-hour chart is a good drop down. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. If you're trying to trade it. Ooh, look. We got problems in paradise. Remember, I put the trade back on with the stipulation that we had to have a stop on over here, man. Right now, it's right here. We might be downsizing this sooner than not. Why? Because you got to look at the pattern of the trade, man. Right? Where was our high? Right here. And then we went to sell off, but price came ripping right back. I got back long. Now we're back to where I was. So what we could have happening here is it's building out this, maybe it's a wide stage 3. That's going to be a problem. So you got to ask yourself, the way I like to handle a problem like that is I just start downsizing the trade. Yeah, it's not breaking down. This is not a stage 4 decline, but it doesn't look like it's going up. And I got some money. I don't need to take a risk to make money. I'd rather take less risk that this goes to the downside, completing the pattern, than that it's going to rip and run without me. I mean, that's just trading smart. It's just about liquidity. There's going to be 1,000 more Bitcoin swing trades on the 4-hour chart. There'll be 1,000 of these. In your lifetime, there'll be thousands of these. This is every day organically growing, over the weekend, growing. Candles hitting. This thing will pull back, go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up. So will Netflix, so will like all these things, man. So as you look to the daily as a trader, we're looking for direction. Is it a stage 4 decline? Then what am I looking to buy buys for? If the trend is down, I should be looking to short up moves that then roll over, meaning go in the opposite. So if we're in an overall bear market and I'm a trader and I'm trying to capitalize, I'm going to be looking to short these stocks. Now, what we didn't cover on the back side of that also is I'm looking, where's the overall market? And that's we call the wind. Go to the SPY. Where's the SPY right now? Ooh, selling off into Friday, man, down 1.5%. But where is it? It's above the 5-day, above the 10, above the 20. Price is above the 5, 10, 20. It's just this day look down. Well, so did this day right here, right? And so did this day right here. So that one day right there don't mean much. We're in an uptrend, so I should be looking to buy breakouts on the daily if I'm trading, until otherwise it changes and turns around. And in the midst of that change and turnaround is where as a trader, you're going to take losses and you got to be cool. Like, boom, lost some money. All right, move it aside. Let's see what's up with this. Like, that's how we have to take that. Man, I don't know, man. Let me know. We could do these on Friday where we talk about just trading, not investing. Again, that can confuse people. We're just talking trading. If it's of interest, let me know, man. DM, whatever. People asked about tax trade. Yeah, maybe one day we could talk about. That's not near as fun, man, as looking at Netflix on a 1 hour chart, baby. Yeah. So you on the daily, you got the SPY in an uptrend. You go to now we go to Netflix on the daily. Hold on. You go to Netflix on the daily. You got what? It's in an uptrend. So that means on the 1 hour chart, if I'm trading, if I'm swing trading, I'm looking for what? Buy signals on the chart. So I'm looking for setups like this, which means on the way up, I need some pullbacks so that I can get long and try to play these moves here, man. Right? And I ignore these because I assume the general direction is up, man. And then I just try to catch the big one. So if I manage this one correctly, if I pissant manage these, I'm making up for it now. This is 4 weeks later, stalking. Now, what stocks to follow? That's up to you, man. What stocks you follow? I'm long oil right now. I'm long a bunch of shit. So, follow what your brain can follow. It doesn't stress you out. You should have fun at this. Don't trade. Your goal isn't to get rich on your first trade. Your goal is to put in a lot of trades, man. So trade small, man. It's never going away. You do not have to risk a lot of money. You could do $300 trades and you're like, well, I'm not making money. Fuck, dude, you're not supposed to make money. You're supposed to run a book of money and execute trades. Go execute trades, like 1,000 of them. Don't worry about money, man. The shit you'll do for free is the shit that'll pay you the most money. I promise you that, because that's the shit you get good at. So, all right, man, you guys be good.